Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you Game 2 in a best of 3 matchup between HasuObs and Jinro here on Metalopolis. We have Jinro spawning as, I believe, the purple Terran. It's kind of like a pink and purple Terran over here at the 1 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have HasuObs spawning as the yellow Protoss at what I'll call the 6.5, 7 position here on Metalopolis. Now, a lot of you guys have been wondering if, or a lot of you guys have been messaging me saying, hey, will you do my replay? I'm in Copper League, Gold League, Silver League, Platinum League, Pro League. It's an Uber game. And my suggestion to you is probably not. The reason why I say that is because even when I cast high-level replays, apparently, yeah, someone messaging me during a shoutcast. Even when I cast high-level replays where I think both players are in fact pretty good, like the Gion game versus Roaches yesterday, you're gonna get flamed. And unless your game is absolutely the best, or one of the better games out there, and you know you're gonna be able to learn a lot, or just an amazing game to play, I suspect that you will be ridiculed a lot. So in order to protect you from that ridicule, I will opt not to do some of your guys' replays. Jinro now putting down this barracks, so that's going to be a standard, I believe 11 or 12 barracks, also getting that gas, so that gas right in line, I believe, with an 11 barracks. Jinro gonna go ahead and go out and scout with this SCV as well. HasuObs now coming in with this probe, wants to try to take down that SCV, so gonna get in a couple of zaps before another SCV comes off the line and gets in some more attacks on Jinro's probe over there. So that probe able to just run around that base. Once again, one of the things that I don't quite understand is how come the refinery has 500 hit points while the assimilator has 900 hit points. As the probe can just drop down in the simulator and you have to deal 900 points of damage to a building before it gets taken down and to really deny gas, which HasuObs once again does. So perhaps that should be a little bit of a balance change. I think, I'm pretty sure that no one will really, Protoss won't scream bloody murder if they in fact have their assimilators no longer have 900 hit points, because 900 hit points is an awful lot of hit points, you gotta admit. Now, very nice playing hide-and-go-seek with that one Marine popping into that assimilator. So is Peppy the probe going to go ahead and try to pick up some more minerals as well? No. That would have been very nice to see dancing between the assimilator and the minerals, constantly just dropping off gifts and picking it up, also stealing 4 gas essentially out of that single assimilator. Back over here, we have Jinro moving around with this SCV, trying to get a good idea of everything. A single stalker now being produced as well as a second gateway being laid down. So that second gateway perhaps to deny any Hellions to that back side on all of these minerals over here. So wanting to make sure that those units are not really able to run in. Out comes a Stalker. Stalker now going to be able to shoot down that SCV. SCV able to head into the fog and now try to come back out. And oh, he's able to see out of there and getting a lot of attacks on that SCV. SCV getting taken down as that Stalker does in fact move more quickly than a single SCV. Factory now being laid down and an armory being laid down. So Jinro opting again to go for an early Thor. So an early Thor, what is the build time on an armory? Something I should probably know off the top of my head, as I am one of the more analytical guys. So 65 build time for an armory. So that's really high. I think that's actually longer than it takes to build a starport, isn't it? How long does a starport take? Starport takes 50. So yeah, the armory definitely taking a very, very long time. A Thor only takes 60 time to build. I believe 65 is probably one of the longest times. What is a command center at? Command center's at 100. So the outside of the main base buildings, the armory is probably one of the longest. I'll have to do a little bit of check on that. Marines now trying to get back onto that high ramp and making sure if they can hide on that high ramp that that Stalker will really need to get up onto that ramp in order to be able to see. That poor SCV though getting a little bit too close, and now that Stalker trying to do a little bit of a dance. Those Marines with a range of 5, I believe. Yeah, range of 5 against the Stalker's range of 6. So that Stalker able to outshoot those poor Marines. Marines sitting just on that position perhaps will be able to shoot down that Stalker if that Stalker tries to overcommit. Once again, Hasu going for a Void Rays. So those Void Rays, and after the new patch on patch 8, much more capable of dealing damage towards Marines. Back over here, we have an additional pylon as well. That pylon, however, not nearly close enough. And now out comes a Thor. Thor able to get off almost single shot the Stalker after those Marines were able to soften it up just a little bit. And now out comes a Stalker. So that Stalker is going to be able to head up that, or are we at Warp Gate? Yes, we are at Warp Gate. So dual gate into the Stargate is the strategy that HasuObs is in fact using. So dual gate into Stargate with a void, with a pylon over here. Perhaps the pylon should be placed in this position, offering a little bit additional sight. Stalker is going to be able to shoot down that poor SCV. Down it goes, and more Stalkers being warped in. In comes those stores. Stalkers, however, on that lower ground, able to continue to fire. And now a couple of these Marines getting taken down as well. So that one Thor already down to 300 hit points as SCV is coming off the line to try to take it down. Void Ray now down to 26 hit points, quickly getting taken down by that Thor. So Thor, a decent counter against that one Void Ray. So Void Ray taken down very quickly. Oh, just so you, if you guys were curious, I guess the radius of a pylon is range 6. So the Thor's range is a range 7. We also have Ghosts coming in from Jinro. So Jinro going for a Thor and Ghost strategy, and I'm a little bit curious on how he's really able to support this type of army. That's a very, very gas-intensive army, and now out comes a Phoenix. Are we going to have these units try to come in? A poor Ghost is now in the air, quickly getting taken down. And that one Thor now, now that it significantly does significantly less damage against air, even though it does do a little bit of splash damage, really I would have liked the old Thor in that whole entire confrontation. Back over here, the Thor once again moving away, losing that Ghost. That Ghost was 150 minerals, 150 gas. I think that's the most expensive unit I can think of that only costs 2 food. Now Phoenix quickly coming in and getting what, 96 damage very, very quickly, and being forced to pull back out. That one Void Ray once again taking a fair amount of damage. The range on a Thor is very high, a range of 10, but the low firing rate really makes it so that by the time units or your opponent is really able to pull away that Thor in times of trouble, as it doesn't attack that quickly. No weapons upgrade, which is a surprise as well, but Jinro pretty tight on gas at this stage. Stalkers now coming in, and a Phoenix now coming in to try to finish off this orbital command. The Thor should probably just try to take down that Phoenix, as that... Are we going to get an EMP shockwave? No, that one Ghost pulling back away, gonna get a Graviton beam, and then quickly getting taken down. And so those Thors, so 3 Thors and a single Ghost continuing to fight back even further, and also having a sensor tower down. So those sensor towers able to keep track of those Stalkers. I believe, let me check. I believe that's a sensor tower. Let me click on it. Where is the range? Okay, yeah. So able to keep track of those Stalkers. 2 Thors. The Thors dealing 90 damage per shot. So gonna be able to single shot some of those Stalkers. So the Stalker already taken down, and once again those Stalkers being forced to pull back away. 2 Void Rays on the backside of the base, doing a little bit of scouting. Those Stores trying to deal as much damage, again, just trying to push back that attack. No weapons upgrade yet, so no weapon upgrades that I can see. Void Rays currently not, or no weapon upgrade either for HasuObs at this stage. And I heard some attacking, but I'm not sure where it came from. Okay, so it looks as though, yes, a probe standing over here by this pylon, able to warp in some additional units as well as those Void Rays up in the air, Stalkers on the ground, a very, very competent and potent army, and Thor is really wanting to get in a couple shots in, and perhaps Thors can only target ground units, so the 250mm strike cannon is not able to stun air units and keep them in their place. That'd actually be a fairly decent ability, kind of like a tractor beam, as the air unit it just stays there and just gets taken down so easily. Now we have 4 Thors, so 4 Thors against a couple Void Rays, 2 Void Rays, 2 Immortals, and a couple Stalkers. So a very, very heavy armored army coming in from HasuObs. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between HasuObs and Jinro here on Metalopolis.